So what about this? How do we keep AI secure? We literally just talked about all the things that it integrates into your environment. And then there's all the different ones, the Google and the Copilot, and all these tools that actually take our information. So does anybody know, how do we keep that separated in our own environment secure? All right, well, we're going to ask the panel, okay? Sorry, guys, you came up with a really good question. Hopefully that's on.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay, good.
Tony, that's another great question. ChatGPT is going to help me with that one again.
Okay.
We're actually looking into deploying Copilot and looking into that. And what we're doing right now, we're doing an analysis with a consulting company to help us that process of where is our data right now, what do we need to put in place, how we're going to keep our data within the barriers that Copilot can offer to us. And that's one of the items that we're taking in place. So a lot of planning before we actually say, hey, start using this tool right here or start using that tool. Before that, earlier this year, we actually deployed administrative control policy for AI and the usage, so we can help the users be mindful of what kind of data they need to or they can put into any type of AI, because there is no technical control that we have in place right now that will avoid that. Plus, part of the conversation that I had earlier with one of the vendors was, I can go home, use my own computer. It's not a work computer, it's not managed, nothing like that, but I can still ask questions about my company and put information on that. So kind of that helps with the communication and help the users understand the importance of protecting that data from that point.
Excellent. Sounds like some policy stuff.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
We have a paid subscription for ChatGPT where I work now. We have a pilot program. There's 3 of us at my business that are working using ChatGPT with our jobs so that we can learn how does it work, how can we work with it, how does it work with us. We made sure that it doesn't retain any of our information, so ChatGPT will not send our information out to its language learning model and then spit it out with our competitors when they start asking questions. We also have Copilot baked into Edge. We have it turned on, and our Microsoft licenses have it so that it also doesn't retain information for its learning either. So we've made sure that the AI models that we are using are keeping our proprietary information safe, and I think that's what we all have to do if we're going to use that in our workplace, is make sure that the licensing that we have with the AI model we choose to use protects our company, protects our proprietary data, and if not, then you have to turn it off, which that's not preferable, because then you'll be standing there with your buggy whip watching everybody pass you by, right? So you just kind of have to learn how to integrate it and make sure that you're doing it the right way. So and not just let your users, don't let the tail wag the dog, right? Don't let your users start just using it and then all of a sudden you're being called in and why are you letting this happen, right? So, get out in front of it. So, and I think Tony said something about policy, right? Make sure, that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I said out loud here today is, if you don't have an AI policy, one of the other seminars I was in today had people raise their hands, like, who does have an AI policy at work? And is it AI policy? Okay, I see some hands.
That's
good.
But
not every hand went up, which means you don't have an AI policy. I'm going to challenge those of you who didn't raise your hand to either get more comfortable with raising your hand if you actually have an AI policy, or go back. Your job over the next few weeks is to figure out how to implement an AI policy. And that's going to be talking with management, and that's going to be maybe talking to ChatGPT. What does an AI policy look like for my industry? And then get that out there. And it might be bare bones, it might not be very good, but it will be a policy, and then you can refine that and fix it over time as you see gaps or holes in policy. So get an AI policy for Christmas.
Okay, before sure you go on.
How do you ensure that the AI model that you're using is not sharing that information with a mobile?
Read the fine print. So, I mean, there's a big, long EULA that comes with every one of them, and you have to read it. And sometimes it takes a couple of sessions to get through that. But
what about with a SaaS product? So there's a lot of SaaS products out there now that are leveraging AI, like Grammarly or something like that.
right,
The only thing I can do right now, one of my jobs is to vet every service that we bring into my company. The only thing I know to do right now is to ask them whether or not it does that. And if they tell me no, do I just trust that, or?
don't ask the salesperson. So yeah, get in, call their support line, have your legal call their legal or something.
Have it written.
Yeah, and make sure it's got to be written down somewhere in their license agreement or some sort, or in your contract. Yeah. So, and if they can't guarantee it, then put that in your policy. You can only use this for this stuff, but this stuff can't go in there.
And Sri, before you go, just a follow-up question, Dan.
Yes.
Who does a policy protect?
It protects everybody.
Right. The
So
client?
Some people can be cynical and think it just protects the company.
Right.
But ultimately, it's protect. I mean, employees are part of the company, so it's protecting the employee as well, separately. But once you implement a policy, then you have to educate your users on the policy, and then you have an education piece that comes after that. But it's got to start. It's got to start somewhere. So get the policy, then you have to go. As part of the implementation, make sure you're talking about what are we going to do to educate our employees about the new policy.
Sri, protecting ourselves with AI. How do we do this?
I think Dad and Harold covered everything almost.
Okay.
So I was going to cover the education.
They're pretty good, huh? They're pretty good.
I was going to say about educating the users back. It's not just about AI usage policy or AI policy, but you need to make sure your employees are aware of that, right? So, and they should be cognizant about what they're using for, and what is the purpose, so, and what are the limits, what are they're not supposed to put or ask the AI. So education is definitely required there.
Okay, excellent.
Do you mind if I?
Yes, please.
I wanted to add to what we just say is there is a risk in using AI, and as a security practitioners, we are doing this security risk assessment to see how that is functioning. So I think we need to put that in place. We are reviewing this in a regular basis and determine whether or not the contract, the Grammarly process, or the AI behavior in other SaaS has changed, and being able to take action to be able to continue the protection.
Great. Excellent. Any follow-up on that?